So apparently, we can't afford universal healthcare, but we can afford a system where people profit off of war twice. First, when they invest in defense contractors who do these wars in the first place, and second, when they gamble on the outcomes. If you didn't know, an anonymous bet was used through cryptocurrency to make over $400,000 betting on the invasion of Venezuela. That is not somebody who's good at predictions. That is somebody using their influence to make a ton of money. An anonymous trader placed about 4 bets on Polymarket, which is a crypto based prediction market. I love how they call themselves a prediction market as if it's not just a glorified gambling term. I mean, Polymarket, for those that don't know, is a place where you can bet on the color of tie that Donald Trump will wear tomorrow. You can bet on whether or not a president will be assassinated. It is insane the amount of commodification that this website glorifies in an already over commodified world. I mean, we live in a country that commodifies literally everything. Now, even outcomes or world events, you can bet on and make money from. It's really like a question of whether or not we're going to allow just unregulated bets to be placed to enrich people who might have moneyed interests or just broader influence in the government. I mean, if I know that a military leader is going to make a certain strike, what's preventing me from 10 minutes before making a giant bet in order to reap as much profit as possible? And that's exactly what happened with this Venezuelan invasion. So it was like about a couple days before there was a series of bets being done where the largest increase in the bet was done hours before the invasion took place. Absolutely insane. When the operation happened and Maduro was captured, those contracts jumped in value, and the total profit was just over $400,000. This was not somebody that was doing a long term guess, or it wasn't a diversified account. This was a brand new account that only made bets relating to the invasion of Venezuela. If you already know what's going to happen beforehand, how can we not call this corrupt insider trading? At the time of most of these bets, there was zero public confirmation that any strike was imminent, and a lot of reporting suggests that even parts of the Pentagon didn't know the exact timing. Yet this trader acted with near certainty. Being able to invest in those key specific claims in such a rapid time shows this person knew exactly what was happening. This was more than just an educated guess or somebody who got a bunch of profits off of luck. In stock markets, trading on non public information is illegal, as it should be, because we know that you should not be able to choose winners of the economy utilizing your position or your influence or your insider knowledge of what will happen with government decisions. Prediction markets have always existed in this regulatory gray area where there is really no meaningful enforcement and there's no accountability when any of this insider trading happens. Insider trading used to be about stocks. Now it's literally about state violence. While this one individual made a huge ton of money, there are a lot of the bets that are being done on Polymarket where they're not paying out. And it's through these like semantic reasons of why technically the United States didn't invade under Polymarket's definition. But it really just seems like their way of being able to skirt people from the money that they owe them from a lot of these bets. This article from The Guardian talks about specifically when Polymarket was approached for comment. On the website, the platform states that the bet refers to U.S. military operations intended to establish control. It added President Trump's statement that we will run Venezuela while referencing ongoing talks with the Venezuelan government does not alone qualify the snatch and extract mission to capture Maduro as an invasion. Insane. It didn't meet the internal definition of invasion from Polymarket. Like, what does this mean? Is Polymarket able to just absorb as much money as it can from people who are trying to use it as a financial program and then just not pay out when it deems it so? Like, I feel like you have to be more specific in your definitions for the claims that people are betting on. If one day you're just going to claim that apparently it doesn't qualify, we didn't invade, so you actually aren't going to get paid out. Most of them have like the invasion of the 31st. So technically, I guess if we have American troops that like meet that qualification by the 31st of January, those people could get paid. But by any definition, we invaded Venezuela. I mean, there's a reason why Maduro is in New York. It's because we went into the country and captured the sitting president. That's pretty unambiguous. US forces literally conducted a military operation on foreign soil. How does that not qualify as an invasion? It was regime change as the result. This is like if you were betting at a casino and all of a sudden the casino, I don't even know what the analogy is. Jesus, it's crazy. We're moving on to the next one. This is more than just a problem of some people not getting paid out their bets on a gambling website. This adds a new layer of monetization to what's an already profitable industry. We know that defense contractors and weapons manufacturers make a killing off of starting new wars, but this adds a layer of monetization to just predicting when wars happen. I mean, no longer do you have to go into a country and start a war to start making money. You just need advance notice that one is already going to happen. This means people can bet on elections, they can bet on coups, they can bet on riots and revolts. This really just adds a completely new realm and industry where people can profit off of the struggling and suffering of developing countries. This means that leaks are profitable. This means that secrecy is heavily valued. And all of this is meant to enrich those that already have the foresight of what is going to happen. One of the biggest concerns, though, is the anonymity of a lot of these bettors. There is zero accountability or transparency if somebody does misuse their influence in government to substantially profit. This article from NBC News says that the identity of the bettor, their location, and whether they were a direct or indirect recipient of knowledge of a pending classified US military operation is unknown. But it does not appear that they tried to hide their tracks, said a spokesperson from Chainalysis, a company that tracks and analyzes cryptocurrency transactions, most of which are public. The person has already cashed out their Polymarket winnings in Solana, a type of cryptocurrency, through a major American exchange with no indication that they have tried to hide or launder the funds, the Chainalysis spokesperson said. If any regulators or law enforcement went looking for the better, they likely have little difficulty locating them. I don't think anybody should be surprised that Donald Trump is a big fan of unregulated money making. This is the same man who made billions of dollars before he became president after he won through his cryptocurrency scam. And now, according to an article by NBC News, prediction markets currently operate in a legally murky area, having once faced restrictions and scrutiny that have been loosened in part under the Trump administration. Polymarket previously banned Americans from the platform based on rules from the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, a federal agency that regulates U.S. derivatives markets. This summer, the CFTC told Polymarket it was dropping a probe into the company, and on November 25th, Polymarket said that the CFTC had approved it to operate as a U.S. exchange. New users are still prompted to check a box saying they are not a U.S. citizen or located in the U.S. to create an account, but Polymarket has began rolling out options for Americans to bet. This all begs a lot of really important questions. I mean, should people with heavy influence be able to bet on decisions that they make? Should war ever be a market? And how can we regulate industries that operate outside of democratic control? We have to answer these questions thoroughly. Otherwise, the future looks like this: coups, invasions, indictments, elections, all of which can be betted by the people who have heavy influence in those events actually occurring. And that is not an economy of transparency. That creates a parallel economy for those with a lot of money and with a lot of influence. And that's something that everybody pays the price for.